She was amazingly beautiful. I had spotted her at first sight as I walked to the train, or to be more precise, I had spotted her high-heeled white leather boots. She was dressed in blue jeans and some kind of pink business suit jacket. Because of the jeans, I could not see how high the boots were, but what I could see had my full attention. She was standing in the corridor, in between the still open train doors and the narrow stairs leading down to the lower compartments in this double-decker train. I estimated her age around 25. Long blonde hair with a beautiful face and a nice feminine-shaped body, not fat at all, but not skinny either. The train was crowded, and since I had planned to get my fingers crushed, I sat down on the narrow stairs hoping for some high-heeled ladies to step on my fingers when they would climb up or down the stairs. This way I also sat kind of beside the beautiful blonde, but on a lower level. When I looked beside me, I immediately was confronted with her boots. It was a soft kind of white leather, and the heels were made of wood or wood-colored. The heels were approximately 4 inches high and about 1 inch square. Because it was so crowded, nobody paid any special attention to me sitting on the stairs. Luckily for me, neither did this beautiful blonde, who might not have even noticed the fact that I was sitting there, very close to her. As I positioned myself, I intentionally left my hand on the floor, only inches away from her heel, hoping she would step on my fingers during the trip. Between her legs was some kind of plastic shopping bag, which she had put on the floor. Nothing happened until the train doors closed and the train drove off. Due to the movement of the train, the lady stepped back and accidentally stepped right onto my hand. A short, stinging pain shot through my ring finger, the one that got pinned under her heel. She looked down to see what was causing her uneven floor, saw my hand and stepped off while apologizing, not really caring, with a tone and an attitude of, "Well, stupid fool, that's what happens when you put your hand on the floor." I'd of course pulled my hand away, in order to not expose myself as being some kind of weird freak. Bummer, I thought. The training trip would last for another 20 minutes or so without one single stop, and I was already caught after maybe only 3 seconds of finger crush. There was very little chance that this lady would step on my fingers again, because now she knew where I was sitting, and from earlier experiences, I had learned that ladies take care and be looking on the floor before moving their feet in any direction a second time. Nevertheless, after a minute or so, I got the nerves to slowly move my hand towards her heels again until my fingers were only about 1 inch away once more. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed her looking down, but I didn't react. At one point, she moved her one foot forward. I took the opportunity to move my hand where her foot had been before, hoping she would soon step back to return in her previous position. My hand was now almost touching her plastic shopping bag, which still was lying between her legs on the floor. Of course, I had no intention to take anything from her bag, but she must have thought so. I noticed her looking down again to see where I had left my hand. As she saw my hand was near her bag, she slowly raised her one leg and moved the foot backwards above my hand, leaving it there for a couple of seconds. I guess she was testing whether I would withdraw my hand or not, giving me the last chance to save my bones. Well, I did not react, as you might have guessed, and she slowly lowered her heel more and more. Her heel started to touch my hand slightly, then more and more pressure was building up until she finally stood full weight on my hand in the end. By now, she must have been sure that I was a thief. Any other reasonable and honest person would not have left his hand there in the first place. Since I did, she must have thought that I did not want to expose myself as a thief by quickly pulling my hand out from under her heel while I still had the chance. Moreover, since I did not even react with her standing on my hand full weight, it was certain for her. A normal person would have said something, or he would have let out a cry of pain. I kept silent for other reasons, of course. My dream came true, but that she didn't know. She believed that under her heel she had captured and pinned down an evil criminal. She would not withhold any more or show any mercy. To her opinion, I had tried to take something from her belongings, and now I was going to pay for it. There was not the slightest opportunity for me to move my hand in whatever direction. Obviously, this lady wanted to test me further, just to see at what point I would give up and say something or would react in any other way. First, she applied all of her weight on one single leg, and I guess I don't need to say it was the leg on my hand. A terrible pain shot through my hand. With her heel, she was almost piercing through the middle of my hand, while her sole partly covered my fingers and pressed them down firmly to the floor. She must have noticed that after a short while of this torture, it was getting hard for me to keep silent because a very slight smile appeared on her face. Still, she just kept standing there, towering above me with that one thin high heel and part of her sole on my hand almost piercing through my skin, waiting for a reaction from me. She kept this position for about 1 minute, then lowered her free leg till her foot rested only slightly on the floor in order to keep her balance. Almost all of her weight was still resting on the other foot though, with my hand under it. By this time it was clear to me that she was not going to give up until she got what she wanted. She was not going to get off my hand, and she was crushing it, fully aware of what she was doing. Once every now and then she shifted her weight a little bit, which sent new little pain shots through my completely numb hand. I could not make up whether the shifting of her weight was on purpose or simply caused by the movements of the train, however. After some 5 minutes more, she suddenly raised her other leg again and moved the foot over my fingers, which still partly stuck out from under her sole. She kept my hand pinned to the floor with one foot, while she kept the other one above my fingers for a few seconds. I noticed her looking down again, slightly moving her head sideways. She must have been looking for the exact location of my fingers. Her heel was now coming closer and closer to my middle finger. Now only 1 inch of space was left between her heel and my finger. She looked once more, then completely lowered the heel on my finger. With a slight twist, she was testing if my finger really was under her heel and then stepped down completely. I almost bit my tongue off from the pain, but managed to still keep silent. If I would say something about it now, I would either expose myself as a freak, or she could accuse me in front of everyone of being the criminal she thought I was. I only thought of how much pain she was causing me and how I was going to get myself out of this without problems. We were not even at half of the trip, so if nothing changed, I would be under her heels for at least another 10 minutes. I thought about the incredible pressure and pain when she would now decide to make her other leg free. She bent down, took the plastic bag and held it in front of my face. With the last twist of her heel on my hand and a wicked smile, she said, "That'll teach you," and left the train.